Hey guys, kinggath here with an emergency patch for sim settlements. Very few users have found a bug that is very hard to replicate, and most of you will never ever experience it. But just to be sure that your saves don't already have it, in this patch there is a method for not only detecting if you have it, but for a lot of you, you'll even be able to rescue your saves so that you don't have to go back in time. So what'll happen is when you start this new patch up, your game will start testing all of the plots. It's done in the background automatically, and it takes up to about 10 minutes, so just play around for normal, just wait for 10 minutes. If you don't get this pop-up, you're good to go. I'm currently in a save that I know has the bug, so we're going to see the message, and there it goes. So what this message is basically telling you is that one of your plots got stuck in a loop, and this, like I said, it's a very specific set of circumstances. It has to do with ordering that you built things, ordering that you built vanilla things, whether or not the workshop decided to cooperate. It's very hard to replicate, but some of you are going to get this message. So if you get this message, the best thing you can do is roll back your save. So if you've got a recent save and you can roll it back and then run for 10 minutes and make sure you don't get this message, that's the best thing you can do. Now, if you keep doing that and you can't find a save that's acceptable to you, like one that you would be willing to play with, where you don't get this message, I'm going to show you a way you can basically keep playing the save without this issue getting worse. Now, before I show you that, if your save, the last one you find that gets this message still, and you don't want to go back further, if you have the issue where your settlers are unresponsive, it is too late, and I can't show you how to save that save. That issue, that means that you've had the bug for quite a while now, and it's finally getting to the worst point. So, but if you're not having any settler issues and you get this message, I'm going to show you some options you have. So what you'll want to do is go around your settlement and just start demolishing your plots. So we're going to scrap them. You'll get a nice little demolition and it will disappear. Now, here's what happens if you demolish one that is crashed. It will basically do nothing. So list stuff left behind, that tells you that, and no explosion tells you that that is indeed a crashed plot. So then you'll go through and demolish everything in your settlements and figure out which ones are broken. Once you've done that, you're going to go back to the save and just go destroy the ones that were broken. And now the bug is gone. So it only occurs in individual plots, so it's not your whole save, as long as you're not having the settler issue yet. And then what you can do is you have two options from here. You can either, and this is kind of a pain, but it's what's available. The alternative is that you have no choice but to do the rollbacks. So I recommend the rollbacks, but if you just can't do them, then these are your options. You can destroy this stuff, not by scrapping, but through the console. An easy way to do it would be to just get rid of the stuff that doesn't make any sense. For example, this for rent sign. So to get rid of something, what you do is you click on it while you're in console mode. And then you'll see in the center here, I'm going to mouse over it here, you'll get these numbers, and that tells you selected something. Then you type in disable, and the item will disappear. Now, if something else disappears, that means you clicked on the wrong thing, and that can happen because this is all 3D space. Sometimes your pointer won't be on the thing you think it is, or maybe there's a bounding box that you can't see that's causing it. So you may have to re-enable the thing you disabled. To do that, you just type in enable, and then exit the console, and the item will return. So once you're sure you've got the right thing clicked, go to disable again, make sure it's disappeared, and then you're going to type in mark for delete. And what this does is tells the game, hey, I don't need that thing anymore. Go ahead and get rid of it forever. And then in the future, at some point, like after you leave the area and the 3D unloads, it will just get rid of that and it will never come back again. And so that is how you permanently get rid of things. Now, if you don't want to have this structure in your settlement, and because it's basically just a prop at this point, it doesn't actually act as a home, you can click each of the individual things and do the same thing to them. So disable, mark for delete, and just do that to each of the items. Now, it looks like there's a lot, but there's actually only about 4 or 5 items because these the clutter is in a group. So like this little group of clutter will be one, and so there may only be like 3 or 4 groups of clutter that you actually have to delete. So it's kind of a pain, so I recommend the rollback method, but I realize that some of you will have already got your settlements quite far by now, or perhaps you've gone off and done a lot of other things and don't have another save, like things outside of the settlement system. Maybe you've completed some quests you don't want to have to redo, so this is an option for you. And now, on that note, I want to talk about bugs in the future of sim settlements. This is how I'm going to handle them. I'm going to be very proactive. I'm going to be very fast about taking care of these issues. With this particular bug, I got in touch with not only the people who had the issue to get a hold of their saves, but I contacted some very well-known scripters in the Bethesda community and got them on board to help me through this. And I thank them for that. I don't want to name their names because I know they don't want you guys contacting them about this issue, but I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that bugs like this go away immediately, and then I try to find you guys methods, if they're bad bugs, methods to make sure your save stays around. So don't think, I don't want you guys to fear that I'm going to become one of those modders who just leaves you in the lurches and abandons their mod. That's not going to happen. So don't be afraid to use this mod. I am there for you, and I'm going to build the crap out of this and make sure it becomes everything that I promised in the videos and in the description. Now I want to just take a quick minute to talk about bugs in general. If you're not familiar with Bethesda modding, maybe you're just starting it for the first time or haven't done it for very long, you should know that bugs like this are often the result of this complex system that Bethesda has created for us. We've got all sorts of code running from them. We've got the code running from other mods. And at any time, stuff like that can just kind of interfere with each other in unknown ways. So it's impossible to be 100% bug-free when you're combining all these different systems together, but we can get pretty damn close. So what you should get yourself in the habit of doing is creating multiple saves throughout your playthrough. So maybe you do 3 or 4 where you rotate them, or maybe you do a new one every so often, but you should get lots of saves going and not just rely on the quick save and autosave feature, because then you're going to have trouble doing what I refer to as the rollback, which just means to load up another save and play from there. So get yourself in the habit of that. If you're playing in survival mode, I would highly recommend downloading one of those mods that lets you save without just having a bed, just so that you don't have to limit yourself. And also, the survival default saves, I believe, always overwrite each other. So you're going to want to get yourself in the habit of saving multiple files, especially if you're going to use complex mods like this. So I apologize, guys, for any of you that are suffering from this issue and that maybe have to roll back further than you'd like. I'm going to work really hard to make sure that never happens again. I already have a very intense testing system. I've got people who work with me, and we test the crap out of this mod. We build thousands of plots. We destroy thousands of plots. We do assignments. We do everything. We try to make sure, we try to break it ourselves before we give it to you. And on that note, if any of you is interested in getting early access to major features of Sim Settlements and are willing to help out with detailed testing, so you'd be doing things like very specific sets of instructions I give you and reporting back what happens multiple times. If you're interested in doing that and want to see things as I develop them, I'd love to have you on board. Please contact me through the Nexus site. Set yourself up an account there if you don't already have one, and send me a private message, and I will get you added to the list of beta testers, as long as you guys are willing to do the extra little steps. So thank you guys for understanding, and I hope that this never happens again, but let's be honest, it's a Bethesda game, so it's likely that this will come up in the future. But be confident in this particular mod. I am going to support you guys so that your saves work from the moment you start them until you've decided your playthrough is complete.